welcome to RC Fun & Games. I am Ryan and today we're going to be checking out the new version of the Mbl32 ESC from Injora. Injora also sent out one of the little purple Viper motors. Like that, I've got the full combo to install in the Tarantula, and we can do a really good comparison between the two so we can see exactly what advantages does the new ESC have over the old one. So let's jump in the garage, let's get it installed, and then hit the backyard course and see the differences between the performance. Okay, so now that I'm in the garage, I'm quickly going to drop out the gearbox mount. Like that we can get access to the transmission and swap out that motor. And I'm also just going to loosen off the shocks. Like that it should drop everything right down. Okay, now it should be quite simple. The whole body should come off. I'm going to start by removing all the electronics. Okay, so now that I've got the electronics out, I can remove the battery tray that I made, and of course I can also remove the transmission so we can get that motor changed out. Now we can remove our drive shafts. Because these sizes are quite weird, I always recommend just putting your screw back in so you don't lose it. Now the only thing left to do is to get this transmission open and get this motor out. Now this transmission is already running the reduction gears. They are the plastic reduction gears from Traxxas, but they are reduction gears. Let's start by removing them. Let's get this motor out of the packet and let's get it installed. So you get your little motor, you also get the adaptation plate, pinion gear, and the hardware needed to get it installed. Okay, so I might as well grab the adapter plate and get that screwed on over here. And to do that, I'm going to use the smaller screws provided and put a dot of Loctite on each one. Okay, now we can grab our pinion gear. Don't forget a little bit of Loctite on this grub screw. Don't try and over tighten it, just make sure it sits nicely in place on that flat part of the shaft. Let's just check that it's going to be deep enough to grab the gears. That's definitely going to catch that gear. So now let's get it installed on the transmission. And also don't forget to put a little bit of Loctite on these just to make sure they don't come loose. Okay, motor spins freely. Now we can start dropping our gears in. Okay, so as you can see, I got it all back together. I'm not going to bother putting any more grease. It's got plenty of grease for these plastic gears. So now let's get it closed up so we can get it installed. Okay, so I got it all assembled, and before you throw it into the truck, just make sure the motor rotates nice and freely and that the shaft is turning. Okay, so now I'm going to go wash my hands so we can get it installed. Okay, now that I've got my hands all cleaned up and rid of that grease, it's time to grab that transmission, get the drive lines back in and throw it into the truck. It's pretty easy to know which one goes where. The shorter shaft goes to the front, so that goes underneath the motor facing forward. Now it's time to drop it back into the truck. And make sure that you keep your drive shafts in phase. Okay, so now that we've got the motor and transmission back into the rig, it's time to grab the body and let's get this installed back on here. Okay, so now that I've got everything back in the truck, it's time to grab the new version of the Mbl32. Let's open it up and let's get it installed. Check out how nice and compact this one is compared to the old one. Let's just grab the Jeep over here. So I just want to compare these two quickly. And as you can see, the new unit is definitely smaller than the old unit. A bit more compact, but the wire management is definitely a lot better on the new unit than the old unit. Besides that, this unit is waterproof, this one isn't, and this one also carries an external button that this one doesn't have. So definitely way more compact for those compact builds. But I can also imagine having the switch apart can also be handy for plenty of other builds. So it would be nice if they gave us that option that it could have or couldn't have the external switch. But looking at the unit, I am already extremely impressed with the way it looks. Now the only thing left to do is to get it installed so we can see exactly how it performs. Just gonna put it in the back there like that for now. Now, where is my receiver? I'm just wrapping up the antenna of the receiver because these ones are really long and annoying. And now your servo is gonna plug in on port number 1. Okay, and the new ESC is gonna plug in port number 2. Okay, so now that everything is installed, it's time to hook it up to the computer so we can program it. And we've got one of their new programmers, so we're just going to plug that into a USB port. Now before you connect it to the ESC, make sure you plug your battery in, turn it on. Okay, now plug your tab in, and then we are going to go to serial port connector. We are then going to press direct connect. Also select your port, will be COM4 mine, and connect. Now connect and read settings, press there. Okay, and as you can see now that we've got the program open, I've already reversed the rotation. So these are the settings I've gone with. I've also upped the kV of the motor. Besides that, there was a few parameters I changed. So I'm going to give you a close-up so you can see exactly what I have changed. And so far, these settings have been working really well for the Purple Viper with the Mbl32. Okay, so just take a little screenshot of that, and like that you can use that to set up your settings. Besides that, I will take you over to the input as well. And these are the settings I've got over here, which I did change a few. So just check those out and make sure you take a screenshot of that if you're having any difficulty, and make sure you set everything to these settings. Okay, so now that I've shown you the settings I'm running on the system, and if you do change anything, don't forget to hit save settings and then close connection. Okay, then you can just close the windows down and disconnect. I just want to point this out, on the new Mbl ESC, you have got 2 black cables and 1 gray. The gray cable faces the inside of the receiver and the 2 black cables towards the outside. Just wanted to point that out because it was a bit fishy, and it's the same here. The gray cable goes to the yellow cable. Like that, you know you've got it connected right. Okay, so now that we've done the programming, it's time to test the system and make sure it's running right, and then I can tidy up my wires. So I'm just going to connect my battery, turn on the controller, turn on the car. Should make that. And exactly, now you know it's connected. Now let's see. Okay, so as you can see, it's nice and quiet. It's got a little bit of a whine to it, but it's got nice smooth control. Let's just go through the throttle range. Okay, it's quite nice and smooth, quite linear. Can't complain. There's a tiny little jump that I notice, but as you can see, there's a tiny little jump over there. But after that, it's nice and smooth. And if you go backwards, it's the same thing. You have that smooth, slow crawl, and then you have a little tiny jump. But it's very little. Doesn't bother me. And as you can see, you got an amazing slow crawl. Let's just check the FOC system. Let's see how that's working. And as you can see, that FOC system is working great, giving the extra power as soon as it finds the hill. So definitely working well. And you've got nice control. Okay, stop. And go back. As you can see, you can crawl nice and slowly. And you have got a nice smooth throttle range. I can't complain. You've got a little tiny jump over there, but it's almost unnoticeable. But besides that, it's got plenty of power. It's nice and quiet. Of course, it's got that little whine from an outrunner motor, but it sounds awesome. Now, there is one thing I wanted to point out before we take this out, and that's talking about the advantages over this system to the old system. Now, as you can see, it's definitely more compact than the old system. Besides that, it's supposed to be waterproof. So that is something I definitely want to test in the future, but for that I will have to change my receiver or make this one waterproof. So for now, we're just going to take it out and we're going to do a comparison of performance-wise compared to the old version and just see if this one performs any better or if they still perform exactly the same. Okay, so we're going to start up over here, and as you can see, I'm going to do a nice slow crawl so we can see exactly how the FOC system on the new Mbl32 works. So let's go up and over this little obstacle course I've got over here. And as we can see, that FOC system is working really well on this new system. I've got to say the system is nice and smooth, lots of control, and the FOC is working really well. Now let's run the Jeep quickly on this line and just see how it compares. Okay, so now I'm going to do the line with the Jeep, and I just want to mention that both are running on 3S. In my opinion, the best performance from this system is on 3S, so definitely consider picking up a 3S battery. But as you can see, the old system does really well as well. The FOC works really nicely. Now let's see how the FOC system works on the downhill. They both feel very similar, but this one does feel a little bit more jerky than the new system. You can see you've got so much control over this system as well. I can't complain. To me, they both seem to perform extremely well, but there is something about the smoothness of the new Mbl32. They both programmed to exactly the same settings and both seem to be performing really well. You go through the throttle, there's no jumping. It's a nice smooth throttle range once you got all the settings in the right place. And as you can see, that FOC system definitely works when it hits an obstacle. It doesn't slow the vehicle down. Just keeps that nice constant speed that you're keeping your throttle at. Just watch how it works. So good. I definitely think these are some awesome budget brushless systems to throw in the rigs. They don't cost a lot of money and they really do perform extremely well. Okay, so now we're gonna hit this double uphill. It will definitely test that FOC system and just check if there's any glitching in the throttle. As you can see, keeping it at constant speed, even opening it up more, there's no jump. You can cut back down. You got full control over the system. I am definitely very impressed with the new MBL, especially once you've got the settings all set exactly right. Now I'm going to leave it at the slowest crawl so we can see how it does up this little hump. I'm not going to change my finger, I'm just going to keep it there. Let's see how that FOC works on this thing at low RPM. And as you can see, it doesn't slow down the more it hits the obstacle, it just keeps exactly the same speed. And with the water in the background, I can't even hear the motor or the ESC at all. It's completely silent. And up it goes. I just love how smooth the control is on this thing. It's definitely very impressive. For a $55 brushless system, this thing performs flawlessly once you've got the settings right. Just going to continue on exactly the same setting all the way up. Now I'm going to start pressing on the throttle to see if there's any jump through the throttle range. And you can see we're going faster and faster and faster, but there's no jump. It's so nice and smooth. And as you can see, it's definitely worth messing around with those settings until you get them perfect, because once you do, this system is so smooth. I can let go of the throttle, push the throttle. It's a nice smooth throttle range. I'm definitely very impressed. Now let's grab the Jeep and let's see how it does. Okay, so now I'm gonna run the Jeep up quickly just to see how it does. And I also wanted to point out that I'm playing in 39 degrees today. It is extremely hot. So this shows as well that these systems can put up with the heat. They haven't given me any trouble with overheating or anything, even in this temperature. So definitely I'm impressed. And as you can see, the first system also performs flawlessly, so smooth. Even the older version performs extremely well, just as good as the new version. So it's basically down to your settings. And I think for the price we pay for these, this is an amazing budget brushless system that performs extremely well. Now, if you're having any trouble with your Purple Viper and the Mbl32, I recommend stopping the video when I was showing the settings on the laptop, set them to those parameters, and I guarantee you, you will have a really nice smooth throttle range right from low RPM right through to the high RPM. In my opinion, this is a great system and definitely worth it. If you're looking for that upgrade, I think this is definitely one to go for. And as you can see, I can go through the throttle range. It's always delivers the power nice and smoothly. There's no jumping. In the beginning, when I installed it, before I messed with the settings, they had that jump. Once you do the settings in the right places, this thing performs flawlessly. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And until the next video, happy trails everyone.